FBI Season 8, Episode 8 dives back into international territory, something this series has done many times before. Fans know the franchise has explored these themes so often that CBS even launched an entire spin-off, FBI International, dedicated to exactly that kind of storytelling. But what stands out here is that this episode understands its lane. It knows the kind of story it wants to tell and, for the most part, it executes it well. The only real stumble comes right at the finish line, with an ending that feels a bit more manufactured than earned. The episode gets its title from a term connected to the Chinese government reportedly setting up secret precincts on U.S. soil, shadow outposts used to quietly track, pressure, or even spirit people back to China. So right away, the stakes feel global. The team is pulled into a case that isn't just about solving a crime but about preventing a diplomatic disaster. Every move they make has consequences that ripple far beyond New York. What's refreshing is how the episode approaches this sensitive material. Stories involving foreign governments often lean on stereotypes or portray the other country as a clear-cut villain. This episode avoids those pitfalls. Instead, it paints its guest characters as real people caught in difficult circumstances. Even the political representatives involved aren't framed as hostile forces. The standout example is Isabel Castille's dynamic with the Chinese envoy general. Their interactions aren't built on suspicion or theatrics, but on mutual respect, and that relationship ends up being the key to resolving everything without blowing up the situation. It's a small but important shift. When shows tackle international conflicts, it's easy to fall into the trap of making one side the enemy for the sake of drama. But here, the writing shows restraint. The story treats everyone as operating within their own pressures, their own loyalties, their own sense of duty. It actually mirrors the way FBI agents themselves are sometimes written as antagonists in other crime shows, painted with broad strokes. Ratland steps away from that kind of oversimplification. Still, once we reach the ending, things wobble. After such careful handling of a nuanced story, the conclusion suddenly feels like it's forcing the emotional beats rather than letting them unfold naturally. It's not enough to ruin the episode, but it does leave a noticeable mark, especially after such a grounded setup. But that's just my take. What do you think? Did the story handle the international angle well? Or did something feel off to you too? And how did you feel about that ending? I'd love to know your take on whether it landed or missed the mark. Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's get into it.